58, chasing the lights. Both had battles that brought them low, but they found a way to steal the show. Health concerns were weighing them down till they found a path that turned it around. Carnivore diet, they took the lead, finding strength in the promises they keep. Now they're living wild, living free, healing body and mind. Just wait and see. Tune into the truth every single week. Real talk with Brian and Johnny. That's the peak. 8 p.m. on YouTube. Gather near. Uplifting vibes. Let's give a cheer.
Hey, we are live. Okay. Sorry for a couple of technical difficulties there, but we are live now. And this is our Halloween edition.
How are you tonight, Brian?
It is really hot with that mask on, and I got to be able to talk better, so I'm taking it off.
I got you.
I am doing good. How are you, Johnny?
I'm doing pretty good. Listen, this is great news. I have breaking news. I got a new job. I got a job at PepsiCo, working in the ultra-processed food division. And this is my new uniform. When I found out all the chemicals I have to be around to make the Doritos and the Pepsi, they issued me this new uniform, so it was free.
That is great. Here's my mask. Here's my mask. I'm a skeleton with a scream face. I don't know, but it's hard to really see the rest of my outfit, but that's me. Okay. Let's see who all is in the chat and say hi. Paul is here. Hello, Paul.
Hello.
Keto Rock Stars. Rick, Charger Mopar.
What's up?
Let's see. Bride's Biscuit is here. Hello.
Uh-oh.
Cynthia is here.
Yeah.
And I think that is it. Yes, Rick says it's costume time.
It is.
OMG, you guys are hilarious. Karen is here from Florida. Hello.
From the Sunshine State.
So I'll put my mask back on really quick so you guys can kind of get our full feel here. I'll somewhat stand up here so you can see my whole skeleton thing here. All right. So we actually have a treat for you where you get to vote for which one has the best costume. I think I already know who's got the best costume, and I'm about to lose big time, but that's okay. So hold on one second here. I'm going to provide a link where everybody can go vote. Oh, and you know what? I forgot to set our comments up. There we go. All right. So I'm going to put this link in here. If you're on Johnny's channel, you'll have to type it in. If you're on my channel, you should be able to click on it, I think. This is it right here. So you can go vote. And towards the end, we will see who won, which I'm pretty sure it's not going to be me, but that's okay. There are already 2 votes, by the way.
Right.
So people are voting, so that's cool. All right. I'm gonna go ahead and take this off the screen here again. Let's see. So I had where was it? Here we go. Take that off the screen. Okay, so our topic along with Halloween is haunted by cravings. And what are things you can do, especially around the holidays, to try and defeat the cravings that you get and so forth. So that's what we're going to talk about today. And I'll put my mask back on again just for a little bit. I don't know why it seems, there we go. Okay. So here we go. Boy, it's really hard to see the comments though when I'm got the mask on. Hello. Hello out there.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Okay. So, and I'm wearing my glasses with the mask, which is probably weird, but that's okay. All right. So, isn't there a new Scream movie coming out, or they're working on filming it or something? It probably is going to come out next year, I think. But I think they're filming it right now. So my screen was getting dark there. But yeah. Good idea, I guess, to wear the mask. I can't read the comments. I'm going to have to take it off. Okay. Keto Rockstar says, I have cravings, but it's because they put glucose in my IV bag. Oh, I've been struggling since last week.
Yeah. So some IV bags do have dextrose in it, which of course is a form of sugar. Lots of sodium, but some dextrose as well. In fact, D5W is 5% dextrose. So.
All right. Okay, so we're gonna talk about the cravings and stuff, but I'm gonna give a quick update on my hamstring because we are 4 weeks now from when I injured it, right? So just short of a month. It was like what, October or something, like 3rd or 4th or something. So we're a little bit short of a month, but it's basically 4 weeks. And so I'm doing a lot better, and I recorded some stuff that I'm gonna have in a video for Friday, and I'm gonna show you a little sneak peek here tonight. And so basically I'm at the point that I'm doing like some physical therapy stuff I've been doing for about a week now, and I've been doing some body weight squats and stretching like to try and touch your toes. Of course, I'm not that limber, so I can't actually touch my toes, but those types of things. So I got one video I'm going to show you where I'm actually doing some squats, and then I got another video to show you going up the steps, and they're real quick. They're like 10 seconds or something like that. So let me bring them up real quick. Oh, this one's actually like 20 seconds. Here we go. Okay, so my form isn't the best in the world, and it's like a half a squat. But at this point, at 4 weeks, when it's supposed to be like a 2 to 4 month recovery, I think that's pretty good. And then I'm going to show you me walking up the steps just to show you like how good my recovery is right now, which this is insane to me. Can you imagine, Johnny, when you were here, how bad I was that I'm walking the steps like that right now?
That's Brian, that's nothing short of amazing. And so just a little context. If you'd have tried that 2 weeks ago, 2 weeks post-injury, you would have really, really struggled to get upstairs. You were probably still using at least one crutch 2 weeks ago, right? Just to get upstairs. Maybe
both. I was.
Yeah. And now you're just going upstairs like normal. I mean, if that's not just yet another testimonial to the power, the healing power of a proper human diet, and how the body, even at 51 years old, even after years of abuse to your body, Brian, with the improper diet, the proper human diet, the body does amazing things. It will heal itself. We don't have to have all these surgeries. And I mean, sometimes you need surgery if you break a bone, obviously, but it's just the power, a testimony to the power of the proper human diet, the carnivore diet in your case, and in my case, how amazing it is. I mean, because when you and I were doing the research when this first happened, it was talking 4 to 6 months. That was pretty much talking about an athlete, not a 51-year-old man who works at a computer all day. So that's
True.
just amazing. That's just and congratulations. I'm glad you're doing so much better.
Thank you. For anybody that has just recently joined, as I see, like Linda is here, for instance. Hello.
Hey, Linda.
We dressed up for Halloween. There you go. Here's mine. Skeleton with Scarface.
And I went to put my mask on earlier, Brian. That's what delayed me. The darn little rubber string broke on it. So there's me, basically.
Johnny's working for Pepsi.
Yeah. This is my new uniform. I'm working in the production department.
The link that I have on in the banner there, you can go to that and you can vote for who you think is the best costume. I'm gonna put this back on. I just wear it for a little bit, see how well I can read.
Stand up a little bit, Brian. Stand up so we can see your skeleton outfit too.
Well, yeah. I don't know. I'm tall, so it's hard to see the whole thing, but of course I got pants here too with the little bones, so it's hard to see, but you know. Yeah. So I was thinking at first, like, you know, I'm gonna do this skeleton thing, and I was gonna say I'm a vegan that wasn't getting enough nutrients and I became a skeleton. But then I said, well, I don't look like that. I still got weight to lose and everything, so that's not going to work out. So that's what I went with instead.
And of course, my whole thing was I was going to go to work in the ultra processed food industry, and this is what you have to wear to work, you know, because all the chemicals that go into all the ultra processed food, you probably need a hazmat suit to safely work in there.
Yes. Oh man. Okay. So we introduced our topic a little bit, haunted by cravings, and talking about how you can try to avoid some of the cravings and temptations, I guess, if you will. The holidays is hitting. This is like kind of the start of the really important part of the year, because we've got Halloween, then you have Thanksgiving if you're in the United States coming up, then you have Christmas, then you have New Year's. So this is like where there's a lot more temptations to fall off of your eating plan and so forth. And you know, there's so much out there about candy and pies and stuff like that. So Johnny, I'm going to turn it over to you for a little bit. Let's talk a little bit about some things we can do to try and keep ourselves from getting those temptations and cravings.
All right. Well, I'll go with the first, Brian. And this is, in my opinion, this is the least desirable. It may work for some people, but just avoiding get-togethers altogether, because that eliminates a lot of the temptation. If you avoid the holiday, the work parties, the family get-togethers, all that stuff, then you're less likely to be tempted to indulge. And if, you know, I'm an addict, so if I indulge, it's game on. It won't be a cheap meal. It'll be a cheap week to a cheap month. That's what happens with me. So avoiding get-togethers completely might be a strategy that you have to employ. But to me, that's not optimal. So for me, what I'm going to do this year, to be able to, you know, go to the Christmas / Halloween, not Halloween, but Christmas / Thanksgiving dinner that we have at work, is I'm just going to eat a pound of ground beef, the meal that I made with the peppers. I'm going to make that and maybe have some cottage cheese or something, and just try to be as full as I can be on carnivore food before I leave to go there. So I'm still there. I'm still with my friends and my coworkers. I'm still a part of the celebration and the get together. I'm just going to be too darn full to indulge in all the cakes and pies and desserts that everybody's going to make and bring. I feel like if I can use that as a strategy, then I can be a part of everything, be social, and not fall off the wagon like I usually do in the holidays. So that's the strategy that I'm going to deploy or employ this holiday season.
Okay. And that's a great strategy. It's some of the stuff I was going to talk about, right? So I was going to bring up Making sure that you eat and get full before going to whatever holiday party or whatever event that you think there's going to be food that's going to tempt you and so forth, right? And you know, there are people that don't necessarily want to eat until they're full. They might, instead of eating like, so like I will do it where I really eat until I'm full. And sometimes I eat a second meal, sometimes I don't. It's just one meal. But there are other people that might eat 3 meals a day, so they don't really eat until they're full. But this is a time when you know that that's going to happen, that you're going to go to one of those parties. That's a time that you want to eat until you're full, because when you're full, the other food just is going to be less desirable, even if you still have those sugar cravings. And this is a great one. Someone, Keto Rockstars, brought up bringing purse bacon. You can bring like bacon or jerky or something with you, so that if you do get that temptation, just take a piece of bacon, right? And hopefully that's going to help you and so forth. Sorry, your prime rib like suitcase bacon. Yeah, you fit more bacon in the suitcase too, I think. So that's a good idea. But you know, that is just like a really, really good idea. Don't go to that party on an empty stomach, because you're going to be hungry, and then you're going to have those cravings and the temptations, and it's just not going to go very well.
Yeah.
Oh wow, look at this. I never get full, unfortunately. If I eat until I'm full, I can eat 5,000 calories, still not full. Wow. Yeah. I don't know. It's interesting. I don't tend to believe in the whole calories thing, but like if I eat like a steak, and let's say I don't know, it's like a 20-ounce steak and like a couple burger patties, and I look at it, we're talking like 1,200 calories, and I'm full. Like I can't eat anything else. There's no way. I'm full. But everybody's different.
Yep.
So yeah, and here's another thing. You can just eat the turkey, ham, deviled eggs, and such. So that's another thing, especially if you kind of know what's going to be at the event that you're going to. Maybe you know that there's certain meat-based foods there that you can eat. And also, if you're going to somewhere where there was a family or friends or whatever, and they know your you know what you eat, maybe you can talk to them a little bit about accommodating and be like, is there anything I can bring, or can you make sure that there is whatever it is that I can eat or something? And that can be a good thing to do as well with it.
Brian, I just thought of something else too.
Yes.
So like a lot of things that we go to, if you go to family gatherings and sometimes work gatherings and just get-togethers, you know, a lot of times it's a covered dish. They want everybody to bring something. Well, there's tons of carnivore recipes out there, even some keto or ketovore recipes. And you can make a bunch of that and kind of introduce it to your friends. For example, the meat, cheese, and bacon with sour cream, and or even with the jalapeno peppers that I've been doing lately, or just different burger patties. You could make 2 or 3 dishes of carnivore stuff. That way, you know that you have something to eat, and you can offer it to other people too. So you're not just, you're not saying I'm going to be completely different from everybody else. You're going to participate by bringing a carnivore dish, make enough that everybody can have some, depending on how big the gathering is going to be. And then you just eat some of your stuff. And then if you see ham, burgers, hot dogs, sausages, anything like that, deviled eggs, you can partake in that as well. But you're also maybe introducing some of the people there to some of your diet, so they don't think that you're completely strange. Pick some burger patties or some sausages, some hot dogs. Like for lunch today, or for my meal today, I did have breakfast, but for my lunch or dinner today, I had some jalapeno cheddar sausages that I get at Sam's. Just boil them in some water. They're really good. They're not 100%. I mean, they're pretty clean, but they got jalapenos in them. But yeah, things like that. So you could actually take a dish or a couple of dishes and Let people see the things that you eat, that so you don't seem like the weirdo. I don't think it's weird to eat hamburgers. It's just weird that are unusual that you don't eat the bun. But most everybody eats hamburgers or steak or maybe goulash or something like that with just hamburger meat and some other stuff in it. So make something and take it with you and introduce your family members or your coworkers or whatever to some of the things that you eat. See how they like it.
Yeah. And I'm the type of guy that if I go to an event and they know how I eat, so they're most likely going to have something, make sure that they have plenty of something for me. A lot of times they'll say that like, we've got plenty of burgers or whatever, because we know you're gonna eat that stuff. I'm the type of guy that's going to go there and I'm going to get the plate and I'm going to have like 4 or 5 burger patties sitting there right off the bat. People are going to look at me like I'm weird. I'm like, yeah, but I'm not eating that other junk that you're eating. So
exactly.
But I'll do that. Let's see. Bryce Biscuit says, I get food noise daily, but I can't overeat carnivore because I have low level aversion that limits me. So there's really no hungry. But also no full because the noise is always there whispering.
Yep. I still struggle with food noise. Some days are better than others, but when I work on an ambulance, so I have somebody that I work right beside me on the ambulance, and they're eating biscuits and honey buns and all this stuff right beside me, and I have to kind of look away because that temptation that we're talking about, haunting temptations, is always kind of present. But I'll actually get out of the ambulance and go walk around and do something if they're going to eat their lunch in the ambulance. Sometimes we're between calls, and somebody says, well, I'm going to go ahead and eat my lunch, and they'll have a couple of sandwiches with some Doritos or Cheetos or whatever, and I'll just get out of the truck and walk around. Another thing though, Brian, you don't do this and I don't do this, but some people still, even on a carnivore diet, they'll be honest in their comments on their channels or on their Facebook things. They indulge in a little alcohol. If they go to parties, they may have a drink. Well, I don't drink. I used to drink beer a little bit, not much really ever, but sparkling water. You can get the brand of sparkling water that Brian has or that I've used, or you can make your own with if you have a soda stream. A little sparkling water. That way you can, you enjoy, you got the bubbles. It's not just plain water. You feel like you're having something maybe a step up from just tap water or whatever, or even bottled water. I mean, it's not optimal, but that way you're not just having a glass of water. It helps you feel more like you're a part of things. But I drink sparkling water pretty much every day. I'm just, I have my soda stream, so I make my own. But I still drink Topo Chico and San Pelo Grigio and things like that. So you can even have things like that if you want to avoid the soda that might be there, or the beer or the wine or whatever. Just have some sparkling water.
Yeah, I will have sparkling water. I try to limit it so that I'm not drinking too much of it, but I might have one a day or one every couple days, that type of thing. Most of the time when I'm drinking is just the water, and normally I add a little bit of apple cider vinegar to it. So it's not like it tastes like you're just drinking water.
Right.
And I'm doing it because I'm doing it for my gut, but
sure.
It does make a difference. Like, it doesn't taste like you're just drinking water all the time when you do that. I know this feeling. If I think about foods, I instantly get hungry, but if I go about my day occupied, it's less of a problem. Then I just try to eat 2 meals at noon and 6, and that stays off hormonal hunger. This, I don't think it is as much of a problem for me anymore, but this is something that, like, at least in the last couple of years, I would do a lot. Like, in the evening, I might sit there and watch TV or watch YouTube or something, and like, I get this, like, and maybe it's because of ads, commercials, whatever, about food, but I just get this, like, I want to eat. And I don't think that I'm even necessarily hungry, but I just want to eat. So that's a problem that I get. And it's the same thing. Like, if I occupy myself to where I'm not paying attention, then I'm fine. I get past it. Otherwise, I'm like, I want to eat something. And that has happened to me often, even more recently, where I think I was going to just eat one meal that day. And because I was sitting there, maybe I saw the commercials on TV or something, I ended up being like, okay, well, I'm not going to eat something bad. So I go and I make myself like a couple burgers or something. I eat some burger patties. So I definitely know what you mean about that. Like, I definitely get that. Do you have that happen to you, Johnny?
Yeah, I find for me, Brian, that if I work a bunch of long hours, when I get home, if I sit on the couch and I'm tired, and my wife will have TV on or I'll turn YouTube on or something like that, the more tired I am, the worse decisions I make. And so what I battle myself with a lot at night is just to get up and go to bed, because I'm pretty tired. I could probably go to sleep. I said, well, let me just get me a little something, and then if I can't find anything, good, like maybe a meat stick or something like that, I may grab a spoonful of peanut butter or something, where if I would just get up and go to bed, it's almost like brain fog, because I work 13, 14-hour shifts pretty much every day. So I have to really watch. If I sit down and start watching TV and I'm already overly tired, that's when it seems like that noise gets the loudest for me. So I really have to focus on just get up and go to bed. And then when I wake up the next morning, I can have my bacon and eggs, and we're all good. Just when I'm more tired. Yeah. But yeah, and then like I don't have anything to do tomorrow. I probably shouldn't say that, but I have really nothing to do tomorrow. And we've had all this rain and cold, nasty weather here. So my plan for tomorrow is just to relax, just take a day and exhale, because I've been burning the candle at both ends for really the last, so the 2 weeks before I came to Virginia to see you, Brian, we went to Georgia and looked at houses. Then we went to South Carolina and looked at houses. And then I came and spent a couple of days up in Virginia with you. And then I've been working a bunch. So I haven't really had a true day to just rest and do nothing. Well, it's supposed to be pretty crappy, cold weather, rainy weather tomorrow. So I'm going to take tomorrow and just kind of veg and just exhale. But I did go to Sam's Day and I bought a bunch of hamburger meat. So the plan tomorrow is, while I'm relaxing, is I'm going to try to do a bunch of meal prep and kind of get ahead of this holiday stuff and all these long hours by having my meals pre-made and stick them in the refrigerator or the freezer. And that's where I fall down a lot, is even that's when I get tempted, when I have nothing readily available. If I don't pre-plan, I get tempted, these haunting temptations. Because I don't have anything quick and easy that's carnivore, and it's so easy to grab something off the counter or whatever that's not carnivore. So really going to spend tomorrow and the next day doing some meal prep to help stave off those haunting temptations.
Yeah. I'm lucky that most of the time I'm able to work from home, because I am horrible, absolutely horrible at meal planning. And most of the time, the best thing for me is just, I'm getting hungry. Okay, I need to take a break, go cook up some burgers or cook up a steak and eat. And I can't do that when I have to go in the office.
Yeah.
So usually when I have to go in the office, it's like, okay, I'm just going to go the entire day without eating. I might have not ate since like noon or something the day before, 1 o'clock the day before. So by the time I get home, I'm like starving, but that's usually what happens. Or sometimes I break down. I'm like, okay, I didn't bring anything. I got to go somewhere. I'll go somewhere and maybe get a couple burger patties or something like that, but that usually doesn't fill me up. So that doesn't work very well either. But that's usually what I do, because I am horrible with meal planning. That is like my downfall. I need to get better at that, and I'm just horrible with it. Bride's Biscuit was talking about water here too, and using a tablespoon of lemon and a tablespoon of apple cider vinegar. So just like how I was talking about the apple cider vinegar, that's probably about what I using is like a tablespoon. It's like a 32-ounce water bottle. Just mix it in there. Really good. So, yep, that's good. Good stuff. Okay, so let's go back to our cravings topic. Let me ask you, Johnny, if let's say you were doing a holiday event where there was going to be food, so you were kind of preparing the food and so forth, would you just make it meat, or would you accommodate others with some other foods? And if you did that, would that be a problem for you? Would that make it too tempting for you? How would you handle that situation?
That is a great question, Brian. I'm a people pleaser by nature, so I would definitely include other things for other people because I know everyone doesn't do the way of eating that I do. So I would include other things. I would definitely make more meat so that I could, put a lot of that on my plate. If there's no room for the extras, you can fill your plate up with meat, then maybe you can get by with that. But it would be tempting. But I think if I were in charge, if I were doing it, which means I'd have a day or two to plan, hopefully, I could kind of plan around that. Fortunately, my wife does all the cooking. My wife is a fantastic cook. I'm terrible at it, so I just cook for me. But yeah, she would take care of that. But if I had to do that myself and have family or friends over, I would definitely have other options out there. I'm an evangelist when it comes to the carnivore diet. I talk to all my coworkers and friends and people at the hospital and everywhere, and everybody pretty much knows what I eat and where I stand about why I eat what I eat. But I would accommodate others, and I would do my best to resist the temptations. What about you?
I would do the same thing. I'd have the food that I wouldn't eat that other people would eat. And most likely my wife would probably be cooking a lot of that type of food. And if it was like meat, I would probably be cooking it, right? But I'm curious, like, all right, so let me answer for myself. Like, if I had to make all the food, right, and I'm over here making like cake and stuff like that, I think I would be okay and not be tempted to try and eat any of it while making it, that type of thing, like licking your finger or something, that kind of stuff, right? I think I'd be okay. But I wonder how I would react to it after the fact. I'm like, okay, everybody's here. I'm relaxed. I did all the food. And now, oh man, look at that food sitting there. How would you react to that? Like I know you said that your wife would probably do most of the cooking, but like, let's say you had to do the cooking. Would that really affect you or no?
I'd like to tell you I would be fine. I would resist everything, but I don't want to lie to you and the audience. I would struggle. And when it's right there in front of you, I mean, I liken this back, and I hate to keep beating this dead horse, but if you had a heroin addict and there was a big party and there's heroin everywhere, and this person's trying to get sober from heroin, and everybody's gone, everybody's relaxing and kind of chilling out, and there's heroin sitting there, once an addict, always an addict. I think I would really, really struggle. This addiction is real. We've talked about that, Brian, and everybody in this space knows all about it. This addiction is real. And so for me, abstinence is best, but it's tough to be abstinent in this situation where I'm doing the cooking. Now, what crossed my mind, our good friend Greg, who used to be on the carnivore football program with you, and a good friend of mine too. Greg and I did a couple of videos together. When he was in northern Iowa, I went and spent a couple of days with he and his wife. And his wife wasn't completely carnivore. She was more keto, and Greg was pretty much more ketovore. And I don't remember what it was, but his wife made us a dessert with cream cheese, and I don't remember what it was, but it was very, very, very low carb, and it was delicious. And she made a bowl for each one of the three of us, and it was maybe a couple hundred calories, but it was 100%. Well, it was 100% keto, maybe not carnivore, and I don't remember what it was, but I might try to, I don't know, trick myself, whatever. If you, like they say, if you're going to cheat on carnivore, go to ketovore. If you're going to cheat on ketovore, go to keto, right? So if you could come up with a low carb, appealing dessert, if you will, or whatever, something like that, that might be a viable option, as long as you could control how much you ate. So that you don't have to completely abstain, but you're still staying, below 20 grams of carbs. So that might be, and maybe I'm fooling myself that would be a viable option. But I know when I spent the afternoon and the evening and the next day with Greg, his wife made, I wish I could remember what it was. It was so good. And I mean, if you fed that to the regular person, they would have no idea that it was keto. But it was good. And so that might be an option. Try to come up with a keto version of something that everybody can enjoy so that you can have a little bit as well.
that's a good point. That's a good thing that you could try and do. Now, I will tell you, in the past, I have tried some things that were more keto-ish here and there, and I'm the type of person that doesn't work good for. But there are different people. Some people are okay to doing that. For me, I'm not, because I'd be like, huh, that's kind of good. Why don't I just go have this now too?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, look. My son's got a candy bar sitting there. He's not going to know if I take it. You know what I'm saying? It just snowballs on me. So that kind of thing is not good for me. And I mean, that's just like, I have to be careful with certain things. Like if we go out to eat and stuff, because depending on where we go out to eat, even though I can probably get completely clean carnivore there, or fairly clean carnivore at least, I might take something that I shouldn't, like some rice or something, and then that's gonna mess me up. So just recently we did that. We went to get Mexican, and I got chicken and shrimp fajitas. Eat the chicken and the shrimp, but there's other stuff there, like the rice, and I had some of it. And when I do that, I always know that was the wrong thing. After I do it, my heart rate gets a little higher and stuff, and I just don't feel the same. And I always learn. Maybe I don't learn, but I always say like, oh, I can't do that the next time. So that's the type of person I am. I need to try and stay away from those types of things. But there are other people out there that can do that type of thing, and it might work out well for them to do something like that. I don't. What is this? George Stella cheesecake fits the bill. Skip the crust. It freezes well. I'm not sure that I know what George Stella cheesecake is.
I think it's a brand. I think I've seen it, Paul. It's I think it's a low carb cheesecake. If you can just not, because the crust, I think, like most cheesecakes, is probably a graham cracker crust. So if you could do that and not eat the crust, that might be an option. Just keep, minimal carbs, but still indulge. Just like I think most cheesecakes, I think the crust is a graham cracker, which is going to probably be more than 20 carbs.
It is a low carb ricotta cheesecake. There you go. Interesting. Yeah. Yeah, you definitely probably need to skip the crust, like he says, but interesting. Okay. All right. I think this came in while we were talking. Main Runner is here. Hello. Good evening.
Hey, Main Runner.
Okay, so do we want to kind of take a look at our poll so far?
You want to
do that? Let me just say this. I looked at it. I don't have a single vote.
Oops. Sorry.
I didn't expect. Well, you know what? Even I didn't vote for myself, so that's okay.
I'll vote for you. Let me find that link. I'll vote for you, Brian.
No, that's okay. But I think we should put our mask back on just for the people that have just recently joined, so they can see our Halloween costumes.
Sure. Let me scoot back from that. Here,
yeah. Let's see.
This would be all tucked in, so pretend that's tucked in, and then of course my hazmat mask here.
And you can go to this link to vote if you want to vote for who you think has the best mask on.
Let's see if I can put this on without breaking it. Broke last time.
This comment right here from Carnivore Junkie is definitely going to be true. I mean, I can't compete with somebody working for Pepsi in their processed food
division.
Yeah, division. There we go.
I think with heck
It's really hard with this mask to see. So I got the skeleton outfit on with the screen mask, in case you're wondering, because I'm sitting. You probably can't see the shirt and pants, but that's okay. It's really hard to see the comments though.
Let's see here. I'm the hazmat guy. I come in my hazmat suit. I didn't get a clean hazmat suit. This one's all dirty.
He's getting ready to make the Pepsi food.
That's right. This is the new uniform.
And the soda.
OSHA compliant in the processed food division.
So you know, this mask is actually my son's. He's had it for a long time. He wore it one year. He wore the Scream outfit for Halloween one year, and I don't know, have no idea what happened to the little plastic knife thing. And I was like thinking, like, you gotta have the knife, right? Like for Scream. For a second, I thought, wait a minute, I got that really big knife, that real knife. I could bring that down here. But then I was like, wait a minute, I'm gonna cut myself up. Nope, I'm not doing that.
And then YouTube will kick us off, probably, you know.
Yeah. So talk about George Stella cheesecake. Paul is saying he's had his family on keto for 25 years. And they lost like 400 pounds. So that's pretty cool stuff.
Amazing.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
I mean, some people do super well on keto. I mean, Greg did really well on it, but the problem I had was I was buying into the marketing. I would buy products that were nowhere near keto, but if they said keto on the package, I would buy it thinking I was, you know, somehow doing myself a favor. I need my camera here. So yeah, I mean, but there are people. There's a lady that I've been following on YouTube for years, and she's had success, and you know, she's going forward and backwards. And it's My Crazy Keto Life or something was the name of her channel, and she lost a bunch of weight. She was a mom with a couple small kids and a husband, and she lost a bunch of weight, put some back on, took it off, and she's done fasting, and she had this thing, protein sparing modified fasting, I think it's called. But yeah, so some people do well with that, and the reason I didn't is because it like you were saying earlier, it kind of lit that fire in me about wanting something sweet after every meal, and so that was not good. And then like I was buying the garbage that if it said keto, it could be keto brownies. I promise you, there's no such thing as keto brownies in a package at the 7-Eleven. I don't care if it says keto on it. It's not, you know, you need this suit. You need this suit to probably open the package. But I mean, some people probably do pretty well with it. You think about it, keto. If you listen to Dr. Berry and Dr. Kiltz and a lot of the others, you know, there's a spectrum to the proper human diet. You know, you and I, Brian, our goal is to be at the most strictest version of that spectrum, which would be carnivore, because you know we're both at a point in our life where that's probably the best thing for us. But you know, if you're a very, very active 35-year-old, you could do keto and do okay with it, you know. Just I think the older you get and the more you're trying to reverse years and years and years of disease process, the cleaner and the lower carb you go, the better success you're going to have.
Yeah, that could definitely be. You know, obviously, if you're a person that like I've heard Dr. Berry say this before, like if he eats just a little bit of something, it brings on the cravings. So he has to stay as clean as possible. So that's a situation where, you know, somebody is going to obviously be carnivore. I mean, I personally think that staying away from plant material as much as possible is best. But if you're just eating a little bit of it, it's probably not going to hurt you like 48 years of eating a lot of it does, right? Like did to me.
Or 56 years for me.
Yeah. So, and you know, I feel like everybody's trying to do what they feel is right for themselves, and that we should support people trying to do that, you know? And that's just where I am, is just happens to be carnivore. And like Michaela Peterson pretty much has to be carnivore, right? It's even more so than carnivore. She's pretty much ruminant animal, fresh ruminant animal, or else she'll have issues. Some of that I think has stems from some issues with mold in the house that she was living in and stuff like that. But you know, those are kind of the motivations, I guess, that some people have. They have no choice but to do it. And you know, it's one of those things that, like, if you eat a little bit of vegetable or whatever and it doesn't seem to bother you, it's kind of human nature to feel like you can do that, right? Like, if it bothers you, then that's one thing. But if it doesn't bother you, like, I will eat certain things, whether it's like peanut butter or baby smidge or something like that, and my fingers will lock up, or I'll get joint pain in my toes or something, right? So I can't do that. But if that kind of thing doesn't happen to somebody, they're probably more inclined to do something like that.
Right.
So the problem is when you eat too much of that, really.
And that's what my thing is, Brian. I'll have that little bit, and that little bit won't hurt me, but that little bit triggers that dopamine response, which makes me go off the rails and eat a bunch. And that's where, one, I have self-loathing. I hate myself because I'm, you know, how can I do this again? And then two, I might start having problems with my hip, my right hip. I'll know if I've overdone it. When my right hip starts hurting again, then I've really gone way overboard. You know, if I can stay clean, nothing hurts ever. If I mess up here and there and find myself doing it more and more, I notice I start limping and my right hip starts to hurt, and that means, man, you got to get this under control, because look what you're headed back to. You know.
Yeah. So Cynthia did some exercising, did some split squats and such. Has anyone heard how Jordan Peterson is doing? That's funny because I just brought up Michaela Peterson. So the I don't know a whole lot about that, but what I did hear was that Jordan Peterson was having some trouble due to mold. I believe he was cleaning out, was it his mother's house or something like that? And there was a lot of really bad mold, and he had issues with that. So I haven't heard much about his recovery. From the last I knew, he was having some pretty bad problems. So I don't know. Mold can be life-threatening. It really can be. So
and that gets into the whole thing of not just so much what we eat, but our environment. There's so many environmental toxins that we should try to avoid. For example, I'll never use sunscreen again. I will never put sunscreen on my body again. Read the ingredients on sunscreen. People slather it all over their body and then go out in the sun and the pores open up. What are we thinking here? But for years and years and years, I did that. And speaking of mold, I had a paramedic friend of mine, a guy named Jay. This is several years ago. He and his wife bought an old fixer-upper house out in a rural area. It had a basement, and the basement had black mold in it. And he was going to go down there and try to clean it up himself to save money. Well, he ended up getting an infection in both lungs, was in the hospital on a ventilator, came back, it flared up again, and he died. So black mold can kill you. So when people are in environments where there's mold or any type of toxins like that, I took a guy to the nursing or to a hospice the other day who worked in a chemical plant, and they had some type of chemical leak at a chemical plant several years ago, and it just destroyed his lungs, and he's not a candidate for a lung transplant because he has so many other issues going on, and he's dying. And this was and it was in his medical records and everything. He got a big settlement from the company and from the insurance, but it was some chemical company he was working at, probably for one of the big cleaning companies. And there was a chemical leak, and some people died pretty quickly thereafter, and it's 5 years ago. So yeah, it's not, I mean, obviously the food we put in our body gives our body the best chance. You know, if you're the healthier your mitochondria is, the better chance you have. But there's some environmental stuff out there that people spraying hairspray all over themselves, and they sit there and breathe that. I mean, how many years, I don't have enough hair to worry about that now, but yeah, for a year I put hairspray on my hair, and it'd spray it right at your face. And you have to wonder what type of environmental things that we're breathing in every day. You know, people that work on farms that are out there spraying, herbicides and pesticides, and they're around that all day long. So, the food we eat is the most important thing, but there are other environmental factors as well.
Yep, sure are.
Yeah.
So we got a question from Cynthia. How are the sprinting injuries doing? So I'll let you go first with how yours has been.
Mine's pretty much healed up. I did sprints last Wednesday. I did a full 50 meters. It's the first time I've done the full 50 meters. I've been kind of training to get up to that. And my times weren't great. I think 10.88 was my fastest time. And my right quad hurt a little bit, but between then and now, it hasn't really hurt me at all. The only problem, I haven't done any sprints this week because we've had cold, rainy weather. Plus, I've been working 13, 14 hours a day every day for the last 5 days. But I feel great right now. I don't. Even when I rub on it, it's not sore or anything. So hopefully, my injury is behind me. And actually, I have sprinted a couple of times since the injury. So hopefully, I'm back to 99% at least.
All right, that's great. So I talked a little bit about mine at the beginning, but I'll talk about it again. I'm exactly 4 weeks today from when the injury happened, and for the degree of injury I had, my age should be like a 2 to 4 month recovery. And I'm doing really good. For the last week now, I've been doing some body weight squats. So I did show a quick little video where I was doing some squats. I'll show the one video where I went up the steps just to show you, because I gotta tell you, even a week and a half ago or 2 weeks ago, I was struggling to go up the steps. I was going half a step at a time and stuff. So let's look at this video really quickly of me going up the steps. You can't even know which leg I injured, right? And it's been 4 weeks. So that's great. Now, what I will say is I noticed that maybe I'm walking a little bit slower than normal. And maybe part of that is just that I don't want to hurt myself. I don't know. But went to Lowe's the other day with my wife, and normally I'm walking a little bit fast for her. And she was like, or I was like, hey, can you slow down a little bit? Because I'm having a hard time keeping up with you. So while for the most part, most of the time I'm walking normal, I will say that if I'm sitting at my computer desk all day working, I'm going to be a little bit sore when I get up, just because the hamstring injury is up at the top of the hamstring, and sitting in an uncomfortable chair all day long kind of makes me a little bit sore. So something I'll notice, if I'm sitting there for a couple hours and I get up to go to the bathroom or something, for the first 10 to 15 steps, I'm a little limpy, and then I'm back to normal, just because it's kind of sore, and then I kind of walking on it kind of makes it feel better. So I am having that kind of stuff. So it's not like I'm completely healed or anything like that, but at 4 weeks, when it should be a 2 to 4 month recovery, probably more than 2 months for somebody that's not, like Johnny was saying earlier, not an athlete. I think it's pretty incredible. So I think I've been doing really good there. So thanks for asking that. Here is an interesting question. This is a very good question from Carnivore Junkie. If children aren't eating carnivore, do you think they should use sunscreen? So I'm assuming when you say they're not eating carnivore, that they're eating a fairly high carb diet with seed oils and stuff like that. That's a tough one.
Here's my take on that, Brian. I see what the person, that Carnivore Junkie is asking, and I think it's a valid question. I would still read the ingredients on the sunscreen bottle and think, do you want to put that all over your child's body? Sunscreen is made in a lab. It's made in a factory with smokestacks and all that stuff. If you could find a natural, organic, maybe tallow-based, something like that, absolutely. The best thing is if they could get them at least keto diet. But yeah, I'm still going to read the bottle. I don't want to spread chemicals on my body, or not even my child's body, then have them stand out in the sun for their pores to open up. If you go back and look, when skin cancer really became prolific in the West, about the same time sunscreen came out. If that weren't true, we would have died off as a species, because 10,000 years ago, we spent 80 to 90% of our time outdoors. We didn't have two-story, brick ranch homes. We didn't have split tri-level homes. We lived outdoors 80 to 90% of the time. And if the sun caused skin cancer, we never would have made it to 2025. We'd have been extinct years ago.
Sunscreen didn't exist back then either.
Right, exactly. But neither did skin cancer. I mean, it was not even heard of. So I would look at the ingredients. If you could find a natural, I know Kerry Mann from Homestead How, his two daughters have a company that's called Compassionate Carnivore, and they're doing a lot of different products with beef tallow as the main ingredient, skincare products. And I don't know that they have a sunscreen, but I'm sure there are probably sunscreens, some that are better than others. If you buy it off the shelf at CVS, you probably don't want it. But if you can order it from somebody that makes it from more natural ingredients, that would be the route I would go. Ideally, you want the kids to eat the low carb as possible, but this is 2025. Kids are bombarded with colorful, flavorful, cartoon character, food all day, every day on every social media platform, on TV and everything. So to get a child to go carnivore may not be realistic, but I still go back to what chemicals do you want to spread on your child's body, then have them go out in the sun. Look for more natural. Go online, look for more natural, organic, or holistic types of sunscreen. Or just a lightweight long sleeve shirt, something like that, to help protect them from the sun, if you're concerned about that.
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely an option. Like, you could have a short sleeve shirt on for a little bit and then switch to a long sleeve shirt so that you're protecting your arms at least a little bit.
Sure.
Face is going to be a little bit harder, but wearing a hat, that kind of thing, that'll help. Cynthia says, you're looking good, Brian. My walking up the steps thing. So thank you. I'm really amazed at the improvement that I have had. Like, it's shocking to me. It really is. So I mean, now I will say, I believe he had a worse tear than I did. But if you're into football, last year, Dallas Cowboys quarterback, God, I can't remember his name for some reason now. But anyway, he tore his hamstring, had surgery, and was out for like 9 months. So,
and Brian, you didn't have surgery, and we know your tear was significant just by the amount of bruising you had on multiple places on the back of your leg for as long as you had it. I mean, you don't get blood under the skin without tearing something significant, especially the level of bruising that you had up towards the top of your hamstring and then, of course, behind your knee. And I can't compare your injury to his, having not seen the CT scan or the X-ray or whatever. But you had it. I mean, there's no doubt anybody with 2 brain cells could figure out you had a pretty significant injury. And at 51 years old, being a relatively sedentary person and having had a terrible diet for the 48 years you talk about, to heal that quickly makes you wonder if that quarterback ate a clean carnivore diet, how would his recovery have been? Would it have been 9 months when he needed surgery? Maybe, but maybe not.
Yeah, that's a good point. Paul says seed oils and carbs equals skin cancer. I completely agree with that as well.
I read a study the other day. I don't know, you see so much stuff online, but they took these lab rats and they exposed them to UV light, and they fed them seed oil products, feed with seed oil in it or whatever. And the ones that ate the seed oil all got skin cancer. The ones that had it cleaned out, they didn't have any seed oil. Not a single one got any evidence of skin cancer. So I think that was absolutely right. And I think as we go forward and more doctors become open to this and more research comes into this, eventually the medical community is going to not be able to continue to deny this. I saw a video earlier, an interview that Dr. Georgia Ede did. I can't remember who the person was. It's somebody that does a lot of interviews with like CEOs. I think it's called Diary of a CEO. And she was on there. And don't quote me, I may be misquoting that, but she was talking about, schizophrenia. Some of these quote unquote brain diseases where people take really high powered meds and sometimes they have to be institutionalized. She said research is showing, and she works for Harvard. She is a Harvard trained, she's a Harvard employee. And she's basically beating the drum now that a carnivore diet or a extremely low carb keto using ketones to fuel the brain can basically reverse and eliminate almost every psychiatric problem that we're dealing with here in the 21st century that we never dealt with before. And when you have somebody who's a Harvard employee, Harvard trained doctor saying this, you got doctors now, oncologists, that are talking about using a carnivore diet or keto diet with fasting to enhance chemotherapy or maybe replace chemotherapy. At some point in time, the medical community, I think, is going to be a very, very slow thing, and then it's going to just drop, and then people are going to say, hey, this is the way to go. I hope so, anyway. And then they can have results like Brian said. If they get an injury, they can heal in, basically, Brian, I'd say in 2 weeks, you'll probably be pretty close to 100%. Is that a fair estimate based on so far?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I'm probably not going to be running yet.
Mhm.
I mean, I don't know. I almost kind of wonder if I could run now, but I don't want to do it yet. I feel like it's too early.
Right. But who knows, in 2 weeks, 14 more days, then you're talking about a 6-week period with no injections, no surgery. The physical therapy stuff you've done is stuff you've done on your own. So nobody profited off your injury. Yeah. Your body was able to heal itself because you gave it the proper fuel, right?
Yep, that is true. Yep.
And Brian, I want to switch gears real quick and kind of stay on our topic, but take it a little bit broader. So we talked about the holidays are coming up. Obviously, Halloween's day after tomorrow. Then we have Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's, then Easter. One of the things I struggled with, and of course this will be my third winter doing carnivore, is I think this coming weekend we move the clocks back. We fall back an hour on our clocks. So we're going to have an awful lot more of time that we're awake when it's dark and cold and rainy. And this comfort foods, I grew up on Southern comfort foods, So those temptations will be there not only on these holidays, but on the days when it's cold and rainy and dark at 5 o'clock, and you spend so much more time indoors. I won't be outside running sprints and working out if it's 25 degrees outside. What do you think about that? Is this time of year harder to maintain consistent carnivore versus maybe the spring and summer?
I think it is. I think it depends on your environment and where you live, because I think that getting outside and getting sun is huge. It's huge for your mood and so forth, your just how you feel, your energy, that kind of stuff. And if you're in an area like I used to live back in the Ohio, Michigan area in the Midwest, this time of year, there's not much sun.
Right.
I mean, I'm in Virginia now, so we do tend to get some decent amount of sun. But I'll tell you, when I used to live in Ohio and Michigan, like this time of year, you're lucky if like one day in 2 weeks where you had sun. A lot of times, even if it wasn't raining, it just was cloudy all day, Yeah. So I think that makes a difference. It gets colder out, especially as you get into the winter, and people tend to go outside less. Or when they are outside, because it's colder, they are wearing coats or whatever, so there's not as much of their skin getting exposed to the sun. And I think that makes a huge difference. I really do. Like, I'm a believer, and I know just from our talking that you are too, that it's the whole health thing, your optimal health isn't just a carnivore diet. There's lots of other things. There's grounding, walking barefoot in the ground, whatever. There's getting the sunlight. The vitamin D that your body makes when you're in the sunlight is so valuable. And people tend to feel better and are happier when they've been in the sunlight, So there's different things like that. I don't really talk about it much, but blocking blue light makes a huge difference in your sleep, makes a huge difference. There's so many different things that really can contribute. And when you talk about sleep, like getting enough sleep, there's another side of that too. And that happens sometimes in the winter, and that's getting too much sleep. Sometimes because the sunlight isn't coming out and so forth, your you just get lazy. Like if it's a day you're off work or something, like for me, if it's a weekend or something, I might get lazy and I lay in bed or something. And next thing I know, I've been laying around too long and now I'm lazy for the day. So all of that really makes a difference to me.
Yep. So I have my Fitbit here, Brian, and you're talking about that. I have been working a lot of hours lately, and it's been very stressful at work. I can't get into all the details, but suffice it to say, there's an awful lot of sick people that need to be transported on an ambulance, and we've lost a few employees recently, and so I've had to pick up some of the slack. And so I went to bed last night at 9 o'clock. At 9, I think it was like 9:15. I told my wife good night, I'm going to bed, and I was asleep pretty quickly thereafter. And my Fitbit here records my sleep. And this is kind of funny because I haven't done this in forever, but it says I slept 10 hours and 15 minutes. I mean, and my wife said as soon as I hit the pillow, I was gone. And my sleep score was 89, so I got pretty good restful sleep. But yeah, I think at some point in time, your body says, okay, this is it. We got to, time out. We got to recover. Because if you don't recover from stress, whether it be exercise stress or emotional stress or things like that, your body sometimes says you just got to take a break. And Dad, to your point, you don't want to do that every day. You don't want to make a habit of laying around doing nothing. But I slept 10. That's the longest I think I've slept in years, 10 hours and 15 minutes. And it says I was asleep that whole time. And I felt pretty good today. I felt pretty crappy yesterday, but I feel pretty good today. I've had a great day, except for the fact that it's been cold and rainy. And as a matter of fact, it's raining really hard right now. So I haven't seen any sun today, but I did go buy me a bunch of hamburger meat and some sour cream today. But yeah, it was good to get that 10 hours and 15 minutes of sleep because that's something I'm not normally afforded that because my work schedule's so crazy.
Yeah. You brought up the word stress, and this is something that I think is pretty interesting. Like before carnivore, I would get stressed out a lot. And the reason why this is coming to mind to me right now is my wife and I were having a conversation earlier about something that was stressful, right? And she's like, how come you do not seem to get stressed out about this stuff? I'm like, well, I used to. I don't anymore. It's like carnivore changed stuff with me. Like I'm more calm, and I'm like, yeah, I still care, but I'm just not stressed about it anymore. Like I know that there's not necessarily anything I can do about it, and I can't dwell on it. So it's weird. Like, do you have that too? Like where, like now that you eat carnivore, like you just don't seem to be as stressed as you used to be. Like my job is just as stressful as it used to be 3 years ago, but I don't feel as stressed as I was 3 years ago.
Right. It's funny you bring that up, Brian, because and she's going to get mad at me for saying this, but my wife sometimes gets mad that I'm always in a good mood. Sometimes she's like, you're so different. 2 years ago, you would have blown up about this. You would have been, screaming and carrying on. And now you're just, okay, Hakuna Matata. That's my new thing. Hakuna Matata from the Lion King, whatever will be, will be. Pumbaa and, the little characters. And yeah, so things have been stressful at work. I've handled it very well, but that's not to say that the stress is still not there. It's just that I haven't flown off the handle. I haven't said or done anything I regret. I just have kind of pulled up my bootstraps and worked a lot harder and tried to fill in where I needed to fill in as one of the statesmen of my company, if you will. I'm not a manager or anything. I've been there for a while and I'm the oldest guy there. So try to lead by example, where before I would have thrown my hands up and said something that I would have regretted and had to go back and apologize for. And that's not the case anymore. I just know that the sun's going to come up tomorrow. No matter what happens today, the sun is going to rise tomorrow. And that is not at all the person I was before I started carnivore. And sometimes my wife gets frustrated. Sometimes she wants to see that passion come out of me. And I think, people cut me off in traffic and she'll say, see what that person did? And I said, well, maybe they had an emergency at home. They need to go. Their kids, sick or hurt. And she goes, can't you just be mad one time? And I thought, try to give everybody the benefit of the doubt. So maybe I'm a little bit too passive at times, but yeah, to your point, my stress level is 15%, maybe 10% of what it was 3 years ago. Even though the amount of stress in my life still exists, the way I interpret the stress or the way I handle the stress is completely different.
There you go. That's a great way of saying it.
Yeah, the carnivore zen, if you will. And maybe sometimes I find myself being maybe a little bit too passive, but it's a whole lot better for me and for my blood pressure and for my heart to live this way versus getting ticked off, 44 times an hour at something that is not going to change anyway.
Yeah. So I'm kind of with Cynthia on this. She said my sleep score said that I got like 10 hours of sleep once when my watch was in the glove box with a dead battery. So I don't trust those things. I got to tell you, sometimes I go to bed and I get like 8-9 hours of sleep. And I'm like, that was great. I feel good. And I look at my Fitbit and it's like 6 hours, whatever, like low or average or whatever. I'm like, how did it calculate that? Like, did it think maybe I was restless or something? I don't know, but it didn't feel like I was restless in my sleeping. Like, how did it calculate? Because there's no way. I was in bed and I know when I fell asleep. And that's the other thing with me. Like, I usually, when I go to bed, I fall asleep really quick. My wife gets annoyed with that sometimes. She'll be like, I don't understand you. You just went to bed like 5 minutes ago and you're asleep already. But that happens with me. And then sometimes like I'll get that, like Cynthia's talking about, like, except mine's the opposite. It gives me like a crazy low score for my sleep score. And I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, I slept great last night. I don't understand those Fitbits.
Yeah.
I sound like an old man now. I don't understand those Fitbits.
Get off my lawn. Brian, I've talked about this before, and we got a pretty good many people watching here. I wonder if anybody else has experienced this since going carnivore. First of all, let me jump back real quick. I go to sleep so much quicker now than I did before, and this may be the same for you, Brian, because I'm not in any pain. When I go to bed, I'm not trying to find a comfortable position for my hips because my left hip is artificial. I had it replaced 8 years ago. My right hip has really bad osteoarthritis. I used to have the plantar fasciitis. So I would go to bed and I would have to toss and turn for a while to try to find an acceptable position to get comfortable enough to fall asleep. Well, now because nothing hurts, when I go to bed and I pull the covers up, I mean, it's a matter of seconds. I'm asleep every night. Now, where I was going with that is my dreams. I have amazing, funny, incredible dreams every night, without exception, every night. And I used to have nightmares, really bad night terrors, because being in public safety for as long as I have, I've seen people die every way you can die. When I got out of public safety and went and drove a truck for a while, those dreams went away, those nightmares went away. So they haven't really come back. But then I got to where I didn't dream, or if I did, it'd be some stupid dream that made no sense. But since going carnivore and really getting fat adapted, I have just funny, enjoyable, good dreams every single night. Every night, without exception. I can't remember the last night I slept that I didn't have a dream that I woke up either giggling or just feeling really good. Do you have unusual dreams, Brian, or has it happened with you?
I don't know about the dreams. I mean, I will say this, like, I think that I remember my dreams better than I used to. I don't know that they're necessarily like unusual or anything. I don't think that they're ever really anything bad, but I know it used to be like, I don't even know if I dreamt anything that night. Right. And now, like, I wake up and I know that I was dreaming something. But going back to the whole thing about what you were talking about, like, I've talked about this before on my channel. Before I started carnivore, even when I did like a couple months or 3 months or whatever of keto, I was in such bad shape pain wise with my hips and my lower back that every night I would last a couple hours in bed, and then I'd go downstairs, sit on a recliner the rest of the night because I could not lay in bed anymore. I would go between my back, laying on my back, to laying on my left side, to laying on my right side, to the point where I couldn't lay on any of the three anymore because I was in so much pain. So I would just have to get up and go to the recliner. And the crazy thing is, I did keto for 3 months and I still had that problem. When I completely cut out all carbohydrates and went carnivore, it was a matter of a couple weeks and I was sleeping through the night, which seems crazy to me, but it's the truth. And I have not had that problem with my hips or my back ever since. Over 3 years. I've never had to go down to the recliner because I was sore in bed. And it was every night before carnivore that would happen to me.
Wow.
Every night.
So just that itself makes it worth the price of admission, right? Just the better sleep and the less pain. If that's all you got out of it, it was still worth it. But you got so much more, as did I, and so did everybody else.
Yeah. Yep. All right. Let's see. Cynthia says, as long as I don't go to bed listening to my audiobook, I sleep great. Yeah, see, I try not to do that stuff. One of the things that I picked up from a leadership book that I read was that you should not use like your devices, like your iPads, your cell phone, smartphone, whatever, right before bed. So something like that, like an audiobook might work well, or just reading like a chapter out of a book, or 10 minutes or whatever of reading in a book. Do that right before bed, and that helps you to relax your mind, and then you can sleep pretty well. So I think, like, for Cynthia, the audiobook thing probably works well, as long as she remembers to turn it off with it, right? But yeah, that was something I picked up from a leadership book that I've used with other. So like I'm in leadership with the job I have, and like mentoring other people. Some people, like, they're like, yeah, I have trouble sleeping and stuff. I get stressed out. And it's like, well, have you tried this? Take 10 minutes. First of all, make sure at least 30 minutes before going to bed that you're no more using your cell phone or anything like that. And take 10 minutes, read a book, read a couple pages of a book, whatever, and then go to sleep. And I've had them do that. And then they're like, the next time we meet, they're like, oh my God, I can't believe, like, that actually worked. So it's funny. Oh.
So my wife is a real light sleeper. She doesn't sleep real good, so she needs it to be very quiet in the room. But from time to time, if she goes down to Georgia to visit our grandkids or whatever, or she goes to Missouri to visit our other grandkids out there, I like to have a little bit of soft music playing. I go on YouTube, and you can type in the search bar soft music or relaxing piano music, whatever, and I turn it down real low, and I can have that playing, and that really relaxes me. But for my wife, she really needs it, dead silent. So when she's there, I don't do that. And I've gotten used to not having it. But when I was a single guy before we got married, or when I was on the road as a truck driver, I had a little bit of music playing every night, and it seems to help it, because it would not be up tempo stuff. It would be piano music or classical music or some relaxing. Maybe even there was one called like ocean noise, where it basically sounds like ocean waves crashing on the shore. Like that, just some noise in the background. But sometimes it's so quiet in the room, I can hear the hum of the ceiling fan or the hum of, the lights. So I like to have a little bit of noise. But my wife, she wants it as quiet as she can have it, Otherwise, she won't get to sleep at all. So to be fair to her,
I got to tell you, all this talk about sleeping is making me tired over here. You see me yawning?
See that?
It's like I don't know, some kind of weird mental thing that's going on, but like, I'm getting tired. Too much talk about sleeping.
Power of suggestion.
Yes. Oh, this is nice. Cynthia's daughter is here visiting for the week from New Jersey. All right.
Well, congratulations.
Good.
Then. Good to have family
Yeah.
visit.
Hope you get spend some good time with her. Thanks for watching part of the show tonight, Cynthia.
Yeah, thank you, Cindy. Thanks for joining us. Hello to your daughter.
We are getting close to an hour and a half, so we'll probably wrap it up here in a little bit. But I will tell you the vote, you killed it. Johnny got 100% of the vote. His costume won, as I figured it would, especially since I voted for him too. But Johnny won.
Well, I didn't vote.
Mr. Pepsi
My glasses
over there.
Yeah. I got to start my new job tomorrow at Pepsi. I'm going to be working making Doritos, and this is the required attire.
Oh no. Cynthia says my vegan daughter can only stand so long of listening to us carnivores. Oh no.
I would have a tough time listening to a vegan podcast. How about you, Brian?
I mean, I wouldn't even think to listen to it. So I don't.
Yeah.
I don't know. What do they talk about? I assume that they talk about the vegetables they grow and eat. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
All the supplements they have to take.
Karen says, try Pink Floyd for babies.
Let's give that a try.
Some of those Pink Floyd songs, I can see where they could definitely help you to fall asleep. You know, some of those songs. Yeah, I can see that. So sorry, Brian. Maybe next year. Maybe Christmas time. Because you know what I think we should do?
What's that?
I think we should have an ugly Christmas sweater episode, like Greg and I did a couple years ago. I think it was like 2 years ago, right? I don't think it was last year. I think it was 2 years ago. Yeah, because last year he was already away for a while. So it was 2 years ago. I think we should do that again this year, and we should invite people on, whoever wants to, as long as they have an ugly Christmas sweater, they can be on, and we can do it like we did. I remember you won the vote when we did it that time too. That's why he's the carnivore champion, by the way. But anyway, you know, I think we should do something like that again. I think that would be fun.
Yeah,
we could talk about
the last show
for Christmas stuff.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. And then maybe we'll do it like the last show before Christmas, because we may take Christmas week off. You know, so maybe the last show before the Christmas holiday, we'll do the ugly sweater contest, and we'll put the link out there. We can have 10 or 12 people on the screen at one time, or 8 or 10. I don't know what the max is.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we'll put the link out there for everybody. We'll put it in the description, and people can click on and join us and share a recipe with an ugly sweater on.
Yeah, I'm looking up right now to see what it says. Let's see. You have up to 6 people on the free plan, up to 10 on the basic and professional plans, and up to 15 on advanced. I think I have the basic plan, so I think we can have up to 10.
Yeah,
if that is accurate.
I have the one above it. I have the professional plan. I think I don't have the
that one says 10 too.
Oh, they're both 10. Yeah, so it wouldn't matter whichever link we use. So, yeah, so it'll be the same thing.
Yeah, I don't know which one I have. I know it's not the free one.
Yeah, mine's like $60 a month, I think.
A week? A month?
A month, yeah.
Okay, you're killing me. I'm like, dang, $60 a week.
No.
Yeah.
I'm looking right at my calendar. Let me bring up my calendar here. When is Christmas? How do we know what day of the week Christmas is on? That's what I'm trying to find. Let's see here. Calendar, come on.
I think Christmas is like a Thursday this year.
October. Well, and Thanksgiving like the 27th. Isn't it like the last Thursday of the month?
So yes. So Christmas is Thursday the 25th. Christmas Eve is Wednesday. Christmas Day is Thursday. Yeah. So the 24th of Christmas Eve, we're not going to do a live stream.
Yeah.
So
we'll do it on
it would
17th.
have to be the 17th, though. So a week before Christmas Eve, we could do it then. And I think that would be cool. You know, we did that a couple years ago, like I said, and I thought it was fun. And I think we should do something like that again. So we'll have to start advertising it with people. Yeah.
Yep. And also, Brian, they can bring their favorite carnivore Christmas recipe. I know what mine's going to be. Mine's going to have something to do with ribs. I'm going to come up with something for ribs because I've been craving ribs lately. So I'm going to come up with some kind of carnivore Christmas rib recipe. So just putting that out there.
Okay. All right. Okay. Well, we are getting close to 9:30 here, which is about usually our cutoff time. Johnny, anything else that you want to add? Any upcoming videos you want to talk about that you got that are going to be coming out on your channel or anything?
Well, I hadn't filmed one this week. Didn't go today because it's just miserable. It's pouring down rain outside right now. So I don't know if I'll get a video out this week. I may have to take a break. Like I say, I've got a lot going on at work. So if I don't get one out this week, I'll put one out next week. Or I may do like you do, Brian. I may sit down and just kind of do a video without a ton of editing, without going in several different, locations to video, so that I can at least get some content out, bring some, quality content to people without spending an entire day putting it together. Because I'm pretty tired. But yeah, I watched your video earlier. Your video you put out earlier today, Brian. Or yeah, you put it out today as kind of how to start carnivore, like safe, the right way to start carnivore. So I watched that just a couple hours ago, actually. That was a great video, by the way.
Thank you. Yeah. Yep. I've got a video teed up already for Friday. I always do videos Monday, Wednesdays, and Friday mornings. They come out around 10 a.m. And then we do the live stream Wednesday evenings. By the way, you mentioned earlier that it is daylight savings time ends Saturday night, Sunday morning, right? So we fall back, so we get like an extra hour. So if you're somebody that doesn't deal with daylight savings time, realize that next Wednesday's 8 p.m. Eastern time thing is Eastern Standard Time, not Eastern Daylight Time.
Right.
Yeah. So don't get confused by that hour.
Yeah.
But we'll be back next Wednesday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And yeah, that's all I guess we got. So thank you, everybody. I'm going to put on my mask real quick to finish. I hope you all get ready for a good Halloween if you're celebrating, or I don't know if you're celebrating, but if you're into Halloween. And we've got the skeleton scream guy that can't keep his mask straight. And we've got Mr. Pepsi worker over there getting ready to mix the processed foods. So, all right, I got to hit this. Everybody, good seeing you tonight.